Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right. Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kindly for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. We are going to have a great show for you today. Para ver. Maywood is in the house. Bruce Pollard is in the house. Breach MCP is in the house. E2247 is in the house. AVQ, so known as Michael Rudnin, is in the house. Welcome, folks. We are going to have a great show for you today. Well, guess what? Things are changing in the house, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Michael Rudnin says, Axios, Nancy Pelosi stepping down as House Democratic leader after 20 years. Why it matters, Pelosi is 82. Her seismic decision is expected to pave the way for a new generation of leaders, albeit in the minority, in an emotional and historic speech. And I'm going to play a little piece of that later on, so I'm not going to read that. The Guardian, UK, from Michael Rudnin again. Vast mass of microbes being released by melting glaciers. Hundreds of thousands of tons of bacteria are being released by melting glaciers. A study has shown the microbes being washed downstream could fertilize ecosystem, the researcher says, but need to be much studied to identify any potential pathogens. The scientists said the rapid melting of the ice by the climate crisis meant the glaciers and the unique microbial system they harbored were dying before our eyes, leaving researchers racing to understand them before they disappeared. The data enabled them to estimate the bacteria and algae being flushed out through deliver an average of 650,000 tons of carbon a year for the next 80 years in the northern hemisphere, excluding the Himalaya, Hindu Kush region, which was not sampled. This estimate assumes a continued modest rise in CO2 emissions. If carbon emissions are cut, slowing global heating and ice melting, the mass of microbes released would be reduced to about a third. Wow. Yeah, we don't think of microbes of having mass, but they do. Lee Grant is in the house. Hey, y'all, Lee. How you doing today, brother? Maywood says, hello and good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone today? Bruce says, shall we start a poll on what will be the topic of the day? Sure. But I think I wrote it down. Hey, where are all my peeps? We only have a few so far. E2247 said, Brigitte, lucky you. Santa is getting you a bright, shiny snow shovel so you save up your snow till the big day of your own choice. Hello, relatives. Today's a wonderful day according to E2247. Bree says it's wonderfully snowing and hailing all day. Haha. Michael Rudnin says, Hi, Egberto. Yeah, those microbes currently ongoing release are a sort of carbon bomb. Yeah, but I don't know. If these microbes are released, are you telling, I don't know that I quite understood. If all this carbon is released, are you saying we're releasing pockets of carbon dioxide in ice? Or are we saying the microbes, the reaction that they have some, I don't quite get it. So you may have to explain. Melanie Keelan is in the house. Welcome aboard, Melanie Keelan. We're going to have a good show today. Actually, we're going to have a good show today because I didn't prepare much today. I was busy learning to use Digo. Digo is a tool that allows me to use the internet and annotate all the different links and the resources that I find and put it into an outline so that I can do more efficient research. You know, I'm constantly trying to learn how to be easier on the research so that I don't forget links where I don't put them, all that sort of stuff. So this tool called Digo looks like it's going to be helpful. So I'm trying it out to see if we can be a bit more efficient in the way I study, in the way I research, in the way I do things for bringing you good content. So I didn't do a lot of preparation, but I figured you guys will have a lot of stuff to talk about. So please, 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 anything, throw it in the feed so that we can have material that you guys want. But let's go ahead and get started with Nancy Pelosi. I love Nancy. Nancy is not a progressive person, but I love Nancy because Nancy is an effective politician. Nancy knows how to get the job done. Nancy is the most powerful politician that I've come across, bar none. And I'm talking more powerful in her resolute to get things done than President Obama, than President Clinton, than any one of them. And I know where you're coming from, Michael, but let me tell you something, Michael. And let me explain about Nancy Pelosi. Obamacare was dead. By the way, Obamacare isn't what I wanted. It isn't what any progressive wanted. We kept on moving the goalposts downwards to get something to save people's lives. So during the Obamacare debate, we first said we wanted it to be Medicare for all, or healthcare for all is what we're calling it now. That's what we wanted, Medicare for all. We had a veto-proof Senate, and we had a large majority in the House. We had the resources to do it. All right, so Medicare for all was out because enough Democrats didn't want Medicare for all. They claimed they couldn't sell it. It's really that they were owned by corporations. We know that. And then we said, stopgap measure. We will take nothing but the only thing that we'll allow now is going to be the public option. And all of us activists, we were on one thing, public option, absolutely no deal without the public option. Obama was going to give in without the public option, and we hit him hard. And he came back, and then he said he was going to support the public option. And then this guy from Connecticut, I can't remember, the guy that ran with vice president for McCain, came out and said he made a deal. He's not going to sign the bill without the public option. So we had to give in on the public option. And at this point, we were running scared. We were saying, you know something? If we lose this entire Obamacare debate, it's gone for another generation like it was under the Clinton administration. You know, when Hillary tried to do the Hillary Care and had all that crazy stuff with insurance companies. Yes, Obamacare was in fact a giveaway to the insurance companies. Yes, I know. But you know what? A lot of people got health care. And personally, I always had health care, private health care. But Obamacare forced them to do certain things with the private health care that I bought that I can say really had been helpful with me. Didn't get the best, but got enough so that we could live to fight another day. And the only person that got that occurring or got that to happen was the savvy of Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi gets on my nerves. She comes out and says, I'm a capitalist and I believe we Congress people should be able to trade stocks as well, even though we write laws that affects the stock market. But we should be able to trade stocks. In other words, Nancy Pelosi was saying she supports insider information. But like I said, I'm a pragmatist. I'm as progressive as we can get, but I'm also a pragmatist. And man, I love that woman. She knows how to govern. She knows how to govern. And let me tell you better, brothers and sisters. If the progressives had gotten our act more together to pull and force her hand, just like AOC had forced her hand for some time before we lost the infrastructure debate, we could have done it. The only way we bought time on the infrastructure debate was because the progressive held hard enough to do it. So I get you, Michael. But again, like I said, pragmatism. All right, let's see. Melanie says, or rather, we have McCarthy. I would think McCarthy will be speaker. Yes, I think they put it this way. If McCarthy is not speaker, they'll need the Democrats' help to elect a Republican speaker. And Democrats won't help to elect a Republican speaker unless they extract a pound of meat, meaning they need a hell of a deal to support that. That ain't going to happen. All right, so McCarthy will be speaker. On a small chance, I think Steve Scalise could possibly pull it out as well. I don't know. Anyhow, Michael Rudden said, as a neoliberal centrist who failed to push forward much real change for the needs of the people, she will not be missed by neither leftists nor conservatives. Let me tell you, the guy who's taking her position, I don't know, what's his name? I don't remember his name right now, but I think he's going to be more neoliberal than she is. So I think we're going to have a lot of work to Jeffries. I think Jeffries is going to be a lot more neoliberal than she is. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. Michael Rudden says, during the Obamacare debate, the public option was what on the table, and Democrats failed to deliver. True. Linda Jo Kensinger, welcome aboard, my friend. Bridge MCP salutes. Linda says, hi, Bridge. Michael Rudden says, we still have 530,000 medical bankruptcies per year in this country. The ACA helped, but not enough. Help, but not enough is wholly on brand for Democrats. I agree. But, Michael, that means you and I, and Bridge, and all of us have a lot of work to do. And one of the stories I'm going to cover today is going to show why we have a lot of work to do. All right? All right, let's see. We've had much higher healthcare inflation ever since FDR's wage freeze during World War II, which made companies include health insurance as incentive pay to hire. Then healthcare inflation climbed even higher once Medicare paid was put into place. Mike Cisak, I wish you would do numbers, because you don't get it. Most surgeries people couldn't afford, even if under any condition that you're talking about. You missed the boat. I'm sorry, you missed the boat. Let's see. Eric Hayes is happy that she's gone. Eric Hayes says, great show. Have to plug it to you. I don't know what it is, but if it's a right-wing nutcase thing, what am I going to do, sir? Energy developed by bureaucrats instead of engineers, leading to propaganda that is mathematically wrong. Right. The energy that's promoted by businesses is what you like to read. That's what you read us all the time. You're the one who said that we couldn't get enough green energy to solve our problems, yet the sun burns every day. And you don't think we have enough energy to run ourselves off of the sun and the back-end store from the sun? My friend, it's a simple back-of-the-sheet mathematical equation. Kathy Courtney, well written, she says. Thank you so kindly for pointing out the article I wrote about Nancy Pelosi today. Very important article that I think. It's a simple article, but it was an important article. Thank you for calling that out, Kathy. Bridge MCP says 13 watching, 6 thumbs up. Come on, folks, let's get more thumbs up. Please, I ask you so kindly. Let's go ahead and honor Nancy Pelosi with a piece of her speech that I really thought was touching. Here we go.
Scripture teaches us that for everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. My friends, no matter what title you all, my colleagues, have bestowed upon me, speaker, leader, whip, there is no greater official honor for me than to stand on this floor and to speak for the people of San Francisco. This I will continue to do as a member of the House, speaking for the people of San Francisco, serving the great state of California, and defending our Constitution. And with great confidence in our caucus, I will not seek re-election to Democratic leadership in the next Congress. For me, the hour's come for a new generation to lead the Democratic caucus that I so deeply respect. And I'm grateful that so many are ready and willing to shoulder this awesome responsibility. Madam Speaker, standing here today, I'm endlessly grateful for all of life's blessings, for my Democratic colleagues whose courage and commitment with the support of your families have made many of these accomplishments possible. In fact, could not have been done without you.
I thought that was a fitting end to her leadership career. I think that was magnanimous of her to realize now that it is time to turn over a new leaf. And you know what? For a long time, we've been saying that we don't have a bench, that Democrats don't have a bench. I tell you what, with what I saw in this last election, we have a pretty darn good bench. Starting from the governor of California, to the governor of Pennsylvania, to the governor of Michigan, we have a lot of people, young people, that the spotlight just wasn't enough on them for us to notice. But I love the fighting spirit that I saw out of Gavin Newsom, Gretchen, the governor of Michigan, Gretchen, whatever her last name is, and Governor Gretchen is a killer. No, she's not. And likewise out of not Mastriani, the guy who ran against Mastriani. Anyway, I just think that we have a great field of people to pull from. All right, folks, don't forget, I'd like you to throw material into the chat that you want me to talk about. And that will, again, I have some other stuff to talk about, but I'd like to get your input because, like I said, I didn't do a whole lot of prep today because I was learning a few tools to do more research, to be more efficient in my research. There's only 24 hours in the day, and my God, it goes pretty quickly. All right, Eric Hayes says, ask the police to release a body cam video of police to see who is speaking the truth. About what? I don't know what you're talking about. Anyhow, Bruce Pollard says she still has a lot of work to do. Yes, and she's going to be she will still be working as a congresswoman from San Francisco. Michael Rodney says, Eric Hayes, wow, that's unexpected of you. I'd wholly agree. Police body cam footage should always be immediately released whenever there's a question of police conduct. Agreed. Gretchen Whitmer, thank you. Whitmer is the name. Whitmer. And for Shapiro, Josh Shapiro for Beat Mastriano. Correct. And you know what? Katie Porter won. I am very happy. And let me tell you why I am so happy Katie Porter won. And since you mentioned Katie Porter, I want all of those who don't understand inflation. Katie Porter did an enormous job to show us exactly why the people responsible for that, it's the corporatocracy. And I'd like to find that. I'm looking for it right now because in honor of Katie Porter, I would love to play that video that she, oops, that's the wrong thing. That's not going to pull up anything. I think Katie is spelled K-T-I-E-A. I want to play Katie because my girl did a hell of a job in pointing out that the thugs in suits are the ones responsible for a large part of our inflation. They're just stealing our money. But it seems like I must have moved Katie already. So anyhow, that's okay. That's all right. That's all right that I can't find Katie at this point in time. But Katie shows us quite well. I want to find it though. Anyhow, we'll find it another time. All right. Josh Shapiro beat Mastriani, correct. Katie Porter won. California faces $25 billion deficits to end to surpluses. Really? I hadn't seen that one, but I'll read up on it. By the way, my help the House majority. Yvette Avery Herod is in the house. Welcome aboard, Yvette. Eric K. says, body cam of Pelosi attack. See if local police. Oh, God. All right, let's see. Let me show you how these folks think. Listen to Brother Eric. Body cam of Pelosi attack. See if local police or DOJ are telling the truth. Oh, you know, the mere fact that you said that, I think tells a lot about what's your news source, right? I think it tells a lot about what you're using for your news source. That you're asking that kind of question right now, it tells where you are. Michael Rudness is replying, primaries are where it is. I'd always vote for the candidate with the best promise to push the issues you care about. That will help people on the planet. And that is where we failed too often, Michael. Too often we have failed to really participate in the primaries so that we can decide who the candidates that we are going to support really are. That's all we got to do. But we don't do it. A lot of times we either only vote on these major issues, or we go ahead and forget that primaries is exactly where it happens. And as we learn to do that, like I keep saying, we have to make sure and be the change. We have to be the ones that go out there and actually do the thing, right? We can't expect anybody to do it for us. And sometimes I feel that when I say we now, folks, I'm talking about progressives. Sometimes I have the feeling that we simply, I don't want to say don't work hard enough, because we work very, very hard. Sometimes it just seems that we don't get it. We don't get it. Eric Hayes says, Egberto, the Dems did get in GOP primary spending millions to support bad orange men candidates. Wow. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I didn't know that, Mr. Eric. Can you prove that at all? Can you really prove that at all? All right, continuing. All right, I think I found it. I think I found it. There we go. Let's see if that's it. That just may be it. Yes, I found it. I want you guys to understand this. The reason why it was so important for us to keep Katie Porter in the Congress is because very few have the ability to do this. Often I talk about the dereliction of the duty of the mainstream media. They concentrate on the game. They concentrate on the rat race. They don't concentrate on informing Americans as far as the real things that are causing our angst, the real things that are causing our pains, the real things that are causing inflation, the real things that are causing many of the things that afflict us right now. And, Katie Porter, yesterday, in a hearing in Congress, I think it was yesterday, went ahead and did a good research piece. What is the reason that we have 8.2% inflation? Oh, it's high, the highest inflation we've had in over 40 years. And, a lot of times we go out and say, I've been preaching for a long time that there were no real shortages, so there was no real reason for but spot inflation, which means supply chain issue caused by the private sector. Yes, inflate prices because you have a little bit of shortages of those things that are caused by the supply chain problem. We've been talking about that on Politics Done Right for a long time. The media has just been saying inflation, as if inflation is something magical, as if there isn't control of prices by a few entities which causes inflation. Well, Katie Porter deconstructed it perfectly today. I want you guys to see that Congresswoman deserves a gold star day after day for putting things that most Americans won't understand in an easier to understand manner. Listen to Katie, and then we'll come back.
According to this chart, what is the biggest driver of inflation during the pandemic? The blue is the dark blue is the recent period.
It would be corporate profits.
And what is that percentage?
It is 54%, and that number does stay that level of high if you update that number to more recent numbers as well.
So over half of the increased prices people are paying are coming from increases in corporate profits.
Yes, the unit price index is reflected in corporate profits as opposed to other costs.
And how does that compare to historically, to other periods of inflation or over other periods of economic time?
As reflected there and in other analysis, it is significantly higher in this recovery, 11.5%.
And what is it today?
53%.
So I want to make sure everyone in America understands this chart. What is a unit labor cost?
The cost, wages and associated work costs.
So we could just wages. What is a non-labor input cost?
A variety of things, including maintenance and investments.
Okay, so I have to buy the stuff to make the widget. I have to have a factory. I have to keep the lights on. I have to hire someone to make the widget. That's this stuff. And this is what I add on top.
Now, it is very upsetting that based on that chart, the actual inflation based on increased wages, based on increased supply chain issues, should only be about 4%. But instead, we have it twice that. And why is that again? Because for corporate profits, these corporate thugs decided that Americans didn't have enough pain from the supply chain problems they caused. Americans didn't have enough pain for the offshoring that they issued to cause the supply chain problems from having to bring products from overseas, not built here in America, that they did for more profits. Americans have to pay for also the idea that a pandemic can create problems. Americans have to pay for their just-in-time inventory that prevents mitigation of pandemics, hurricanes, and whatever problems you have in a foreign country where our products are manufactured. But we don't have the mainstream media listening to some of the analysis done by Katie Porter, which would change the narrative that, oh, somehow this is Biden inflation. This isn't Biden inflation. This is corporate private sector inflation with them fleecing Americans in an unpatriotic, evil manner. Why can't we just come out and say what the truth is? These people have no heart. These people have no soul. These people don't care that they're killing babies as a mother can't afford the formula raised so that they can put more money into their pockets, money that's really unearned. People, let's get it straight and don't support those who would mislead you. Vote and vote appropriately and vote your interests and vote the people who are going to get things done to prevent the corporate thugs from doing what they just can't help doing given their psychopathy. We spend a lot of... It is amazing, right? We take a look at Brother Mike Cisak and you know, Eric Hayes. But, you know, Eric Hayes is like one of those bots, you know. Those bots that just, you know, you say something and you put up, Biden inflation, bond, you know. You know those children that you just say a word and you cue something up, Biden inflation, bond, right? Here's the funny thing about it, right? We don't do that here. We come out with numbers. And these are numbers that everybody can see, right? We can actually go to the stock market and see the delta increase in profits for an oil company, the delta increase in profits for the food companies. We can then go ahead and backtrack and figure out what's their cost based on their P&A and their income statements, right? We can do all of that. It's math. It's basic math. It doesn't take magic to do it. We also have their voices on their when they're talking to their investors about using inflation, and a little bit of inflation is actually going to be good for the corporations because it gives them a chance to put a premium onto the inflation. We have, you know, all this is there, right? All these policies and all these things the corporations are doing are screwing all of us together, whether we call ourselves conservatives, progressives, Republican, or Democrat. It's screwing us all, right? Mike Cisak is a farmer. They screwed him. The people that he constantly defends screwed him. They even have him believe that somehow there's some printing of money. Nobody prints money. That's not how it works. But these people believe this stuff, right? What we do is when we have our good brothers and sisters like Eric, Cizek, and Ledo in the house, we use their obnoxiosity and their misinformation, which if they have that misinformation, it means millions of Americans have it as well. That's why somebody like Trump could have gotten 76 million people to vote for him. Yes, we know some of it was racial animus, but a lot of it was just people that are ill-informed, right? But that's what we do. So when I go back to a lot of the words that Michael Rudnin says, well, I wish they were more, Nancy was more progressive, etc. Brother Rudnin, we are the ones who have to do the work. I spoke at the Humble Area Democrats 3 days ago. When was it? Today's Thursday. I spoke to them on Monday. I spoke to the Humble Area Democrats on Monday. And what I told them is it's time for us to stop looking up to the Democratic Party. I'm talking about progressives and Democrats for direction as what to do. We are all smart. We can all read. And we have the answers. And therefore, what we have to do is talk to people. Yes, you're always going to run into the Erics and the Mike Cizeks and the Daniel Ledos. That's fine. You're going to run into guys like that all the time. And it's going to be mostly a particular kind of guy, right? That you're going to run into like that. They have a certain bent in the way they allowed themselves to have been indoctrinated for particular purposes. And what you do is you use their words to help guide the system. And I did that at the meeting, right? One of the guys challenged me and he said, we have to be always the party of hope and not put out fear, etc. And then I asked him, is it fearful that we have a system where your mother will die because of policy? Does that scare you? Yeah, man. I said, but that's not how we put it out there. When we put it out there, we need to have Medicare for all so that people who don't have insurance can have it. No. We need to go out there and says we need to have the killers in the people in Austin, the Republican politicians in Austin who are killing your mothers, your sisters, your brothers, your family. We have to get them out of office so that we can provide the services that to keep our people alive. They claim to be the party of life, but all they do is kill. But they kill antiseptically. We have to say the words. And we have to have, so we have the numbers behind it. So when we say the words, and they say, but that's not what we hear on Fox News. No, they're killing your mother. Remember, think about John Amos when John Amos was in the hospital. Why was he in the hospital again? And bring it to them. And as I explained to them, you have to take the message and you have to go to where people are, not where you think they should be. All right, let me read some of what you guys have to say here. Para ver. Short version, Michael Rodden wanted to cut to the chase. Short version, over $500 billion attributed to corporate price is attributed to corporate price gouging. Yes, but what she wanted to do is show the breakdowns because you'll have the Mike Cizek said those numbers are wrong. No, they're right, and this is how we break it down, and this is how we figure out corporate fraud, etc. Mike Cizek says, by the way, I looked at the numbers on her chart. I found she lied. No, you're lying right now. Bridge MCP says, over half of inflation attributed to corporate price gouging. Yes. Mike Cizek says the number she posted is incorrect. No, it's not. I've already looked it over. They are absolutely correct. In fact, they may be on the low side because what she called wages, if it includes the corporate sector, they don't deserve it. Let's see. Mike Cizek doesn't want to recognize an uncomfortable truth when he sees it. So denial. And the funny thing about it, Senor Rudnin, is that they're screwing him as a farmer. They're the ones that causing most of his angst. Then he comes and he says, Mike Cizek says, this is money printing inflation. No, it's not. Inflation, if it were money printing inflation, what has to occur is you would have had to have shortages. If it's money printing inflation, what you're actually saying is poor people do not have the option to accumulate monies, because if they have money in their pockets, it must be spent. But that's not what we're doing. We're saying if we have money in the pocket, since there are not shortages, we're going to inflate the prices to take the money away from you. You never had a line for gasoline. You never had a line for cebollas, onions. You never had a line for parsley. But the prices went up. It's math. Interest is a financially healthy country. I don't know what you're saying there. Lilith Rogers says, awful that corporate profits are going up and wages are stagnant. Boo. Yes, you're right. And for those who say, well, no, wages went up 5%. Yeah, but inflation went up 8%. So they're not stagnant. They've declined because of corporate theft. If we didn't have corporate theft, legal corporate theft, the 5% increase in wages would have been a real 1-point-something increase in your income that you take home, in your disposable income. Michael Rudnin to Mike Cisak. In 2008, government printed trillions. In 2009, the inflation rate was negative. Again, they don't know what they're talking about, Rudnin. They just buy the Kool-Aid. Eric says, oh my God, watch the freaking video. It has freaking numbers, but you want to project. No, I don't watch. I don't waste my time. Look, if I know 1 + 1 is 2, because it's math. It's not ideological. It doesn't have any other meaning. And you say, Egberto, watch this video so that I can show you that 1 + 1 is equal to 3 in real numbers. Why the hell would I want to watch that? It doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of my time. I have a lot more work to do to pull the truth forward. I don't have time to mislead. What you want to do is take my time and mislead. So half of the stuff you send is garbage. It really, I hate to say it, it is garbage. It is garbage, and it's provably so. Daniel Edo says, then you agree that body cam footage from the Paul Pelosi incident. See, we can agree. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it out. Mike Cisa said, by the way, the baby formula shortage was caused by government regulation that prevented competition in the Medicaid government contracts. Again, there you go. There you go. It was, well, I'm not going to go there. Michael Rudden said, Egberto, conservatives usually go with 3 words and 4-word slogans. Anything that sounds true, even if it isn't. Yep, I know. It's a shame, right? It's funny. But it is also, a lot of people call it the mind of a child, because, you know, children like simple things. I want to put what you put on the screen. Do all the things. Michael, I don't know. Sometimes you come up with some things that make me laugh. All right. The Federal Reserve doesn't print money. Okay. All right. Lord, please let folks start thinking through more one level of indirection. They regulate interest rates. In the process of doing so, they create, well, I will give a class on that another day, Mike Cisak. It's not what I want to do right now. Bridge MCP says, fact check. A shortage of baby formula has provoked misleading partisan claims that suggest Joe Biden is responsible for the bare shelves. But the shortage has been caused by a recall and plants shut down by a major manufacturer on ongoing supply chain issues due to the pandemic. Daniel Edo says he makes up words like makes up facts. Ignorance has a face. Yep. Look, I have a mirror here, brother. I got a mirror for you. You want it? Check it out. But he says, but the shortage has been caused by a recall and plant shut down by a major manufacturer and ongoing supply chain problem issues due to the pandemic. Ex-GOP administration lawyers urge rejection of Trump's special master bid. Excellent amicus brief. Thank you for that, E2247. We got Mike Cisak. Berto, you had someone on your show that told you inflation was caused by a $6 trillion in printing in money, yet you are denying it. Look, that's not what they said. They said $6 trillion in printing, right? Listen good. Because you have more supply of money in the system, people can afford to pay higher prices, and the thugs decided because they knew people had higher prices, they could charge it and people would pay for it. Understand what it's saying and don't twist the words. Our E2247 says this special treatment of one private citizen by virtue of his former status as president runs contrary to well-established case law, the attorneys wrote. Michael Ronan says, Egberto, there was a recent poll. Republican voters, 41% said they preferred DeSantis compared to 39% who preferred Trump, while 8% preferred neither. I'd say the 39% of conservatives cannot be reached, while 8% of conservatives have realized that their party needs fundamental change. Agreed. Let's see, E2247, the district court held that former President Trump's reputation is more valuable or worthy of protection than our regulations of other subject lawful. Oh, there is no basis for this ruling. No, there's not. That's an old ruling, though. All right, let's see what else we got here. Daniel Ledo, it just greedy corporations, which is to say greedy people, white guys, are just sticking it to the little guy. No, I just said read a guy. I mean, you must not have heard my show yesterday. I don't discriminate against corporate abuse or people who don't deserve the billions that they have. Yesterday's show at KPFT, I pretty much hit on both Oprah Winfrey and Bill Gates. So you can't throw that trope on me, sir. Eric A. Egberto, you are a figment of your imagination. Okay. Mike Cisak says, why does Egberto not want to watch the world-known economists counter what garbage you're spending? Which world-known economist is that? Please name me a world-known economist that would lie to you that way. Give me the name. Which economists are we talking about here? The only economists worth their salt are guys like Richard Wolff or Paul Krugman or a few others that I've had on my show. All the others, the Laffer guy from the Laffer curve, they don't make any sense. Egberto, do all things is a classic meme, been around since 2020. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Shortages caused by government regulation. Wow. Why don't you enumerate how government regulations actually cause shortages? You see, you guys just say words, but when you're asked to prove the words, you have nothing. Come on, brothers. Let's try to back up the things that we say. All right, continue. We got Breach says, why keep giving medicine to the dead, Egberto? Willis, you will never win with these guys. No, I don't win, but you know what we win? State the short truth and move on. No, let me tell you something, Breach. Every time they move the poll, and since I have time to actually say it, every time they move the poll, it's another argument that we debunk for not them. It's not for them. It really is not for them. It's for those listening, Breach. I would love to read you a note. Let me see if I can find it. Because I read it to my daughter yesterday, and I know to some of you, my great progressive folks like Breach and others who know the truth and who will always tell the truth, I want to ask you, bear with us with what we're doing. I want to tell you, I got this note from a kind listener. She said, I wish I knew your love language so I could properly extend my thanks and appreciation to you. I have allowed myself to become obsessed with news, which really has just been bad news since 2015. So now I just go to Daily Kos and to you and come away with a little hope. Can't kick the habit, but you have lowered chances that I will have a stroke. I gave some political donations and had to take down my email account because it became a tsunami of donation begs. If you provide me with a place to mail some money, I would appreciate it. But please do not put me on your email database. She doesn't want to be awash in things. But she is so happy with what we are doing. For those of you who get upset when I stick around and try to talk to people, she says in other emails as well, understands what we're doing here. And she wants to support and make sure we are funded to continue doing it. She says I've prevented her from getting a stroke. I love that. So, Bridge, I get it. I get why it upsets you sometimes when I give Eric and CSAC and Ledo undue time. And welcome aboard, Tom. I forgot to salute you earlier. I know that. But we can't just talk to the choir to make the choir happy. We have to be able to go where people are. Let's see. What else we got here? Let's see. Egberto, you are a lot more patient than I am. That's what I hear. John Smith says, so much the leftists think they know. They're so ignorant of the facts. And you guys say that a lot, but you never come out and give or provide facts. Typical. Baby formula shortage came from corporate short-sightedness. I posted that before. Not a fault of government. PBS, the shutdown of the Michigan Sturgis plant demonstrated the fragility of the formula market to supply shocks. Formula prices increased by an average of 11% between 2021 and 2022, and shortages spiked to over 74% nationwide at the end of May 2022, when 10 states having shortage levels of 90% or greater. It is amazing. These guys simply screw up. And then they always want to say government regulation. No, it's them. It's them. Hence why I say short truth. People who listen to you know already. Those that don't will understand. Thank you, girl. John Smith says, Michael Rudnin, guess you don't know that it's government that shut down the only factory that supplied baby formula to Medicaid due to failures in inspection. No, not due to failure in inspections, due to the shortages that they've created. But let's get a little bit better. Are you wanting them not to shut down a thing that is actually killing babies? Amazing. Ledo says, I believe everything will be okay. The residents of Sodom, we arrogant in their evil as well, blinding them to the judgment to come. Wow. That's a Sodom and Gomorrah threat that he just laid out there, guys. You know, we're going to turn around and turn into a ball of salt, man. What can I say? Let's see. John Smith says, Egberto, we give facts and you wave them off as false. Your opinion. I don't give opinions. When I give opinions, I tell you it's an opinion. But most of what I detail here are facts. Period. Punto y final. Punto y final. Okay, let's go to the subject at hand here now. For the longest time, a lot of us complain about the amount of monies that we get as progressives, right? Well, not we, but because I wish I am about 1,000%, and I'm not kidding you when I say that. I'm about 1,000% in income right now from what we do, but we keep on. But a lot of us always think that we need a lot of income to do our work. We don't. I mean, if you see my setup here, I've sent pictures of my basic setup here. And we've done things with, you know, our $10,000 studio does as much work as a lot of the big guys who have $100,000 studios, right? Yes, I do all the research. Yes, I do all the videos. Yes, I buy all the software that process the videos. Yes, I keep the online. I pay the little stipends for the servers, for our website. Yes, I do that for the Substack and all of that. And that's why you guys, whenever you guys subscribe, you help out a lot. But Karen Bass, new mayor of LA, she was outspent 10 to 1. 10 to 1. And she still won by, I think it was over 5%. What is it here? Let's see if they gave the new counts here. But she won by a substantial amount. Grassroots. So what I told the folks at the Kingwood area Democrats is that don't expect out of the party to be flushed in monies. I mean, the party gives me zilch, even though much of what we do promote the progressive message. It's all done on those of you who watch me, contribute to me, buy our stuff, etc. And there we come with Karen Bass. Says Karen Bass, 6-term Democratic U.S. Congresswoman, won despite being outspent 11-1 by real estate tycoon and erstwhile Republican Rick Caruso. Karen Bass on Wednesday was projected the winner of Los Angeles mayor race, defeating the billionaire developer Rick Caruso and former Republican who outspent the Democratic U.S. Congresswoman by 11-1, while enlisting the aid of Hollywood A-listers like Snoop Dogg, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Kim Kardashian. One of the reasons yesterday in my program I said Oprah, Bill Gates, it's a system. The system is systemic. It doesn't, the problem is systemic. It's not race or whatever. However, race is used as a tool within the system. And you know who don't care about it? Folks like Oprah, Snoop Dogg, Kanye, they don't care, right? Because they understand all the tools that make this economic system run. They understand it. So when others are in pain, or when Trump uses his veil, his misogyny, his racism, his homophobia, the wealthy gay folk, like the guy who runs Apple, he has no problem breaking bread with Donald Trump and sitting down and making deals, because they understand one thing. We, the peons, we fight among ourselves. They say, hey, support Trump. And poor people open their pocketbooks to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump take them for what they're worth. Same with all these other billionaires. That's what they do. And what our responsibility is and has to be is to allow folks to understand we are in the same boat. We are in the same boat. Not only are we in the same boat, but they are screwing us all by pitting us against each other. When we understand that, then our minds will be more open to be unindoctrinated, so that the Daniel Ledos and the Mike Ceseks of the world and the Eric Hayes of the world would finally come around and say, oh my God, yeah, I am in fact on your team. I am in fact on your team. Tom C. says, per Governor Ron DeSantis, Florida is where woke comes to die. Yes. Since he and supporters are fast asleep to understanding of racist U.S. history, scientific facts, and the importance of protecting minority rights. Gotcha. You're absolutely right. Egberto reminds me of when Ellen and Bush were laughing together at the football game. Yes, you get it. You know, it's funny, right? And that is what I'm trying to put. People always say, well, people always say like, well, look at Kanye and all of them. Kanye, Beyonce, Oprah, all of these guys that are billionaires, right? They've had the power to go into districts and finance those districts to allow those politicians that we deem are racist, help them not get elected, or help them with what they need. Hell, Oprah could have sent Politics Done Right a good stipend so that we could get a lot done. But it wasn't done. And the reason why these things aren't done is because they are in the system. The same system that I speak about all. In the same boat, but some are drilling the hull. Exactly, Bridge. And what we have to do is show them why drilling the boats hurts them as well. Kalibu says, I'm super excited that she is stepping down. I wish she would give up her seat too. Why? She was elected. She was elected. Why would she give up the seat. They elected her. All right, let's see what else I got here. Because I haven't done my ass. Let me. I can't do the ass. I'm out of time. I'm out of time. So let's go ahead and say, please, folks, support the program. We're at least 1,000% behind where we should be, and it would be nice if you would help us. If you would help us keep this stuff going. Tomorrow I'm going to have a great show at KPFT 90.1 FM. It's going to be about progressives. Very, very important about progressives. And I want you guys to tune in at noon if you can. I bet Egberto has vivid dreams of himself high on a hill, the sun glistening off his skin, arms wide, welcoming all us conservatives who have seen the error of their ways, crying and asking for forgiveness. I don't think you have to ask for forgiveness. The only people that have to ask for forgiveness are the people who misled you. Those are the people I have angst against. Daniel, I don't have anything against you. Honestly, I don't have anything against you, brother. The message on the other side is a potent message. I get it. It's a potent message. Folks, please support us at by becoming a Patreon. You can become a patron by going to politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Politicsdoneright.com/patron. Patron is spelled Patreon. You can also support us via our PayPal, politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. Or you can go, if you're on YouTube, you can just go ahead and click the join button. Or if you're not on YouTube, you can go to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube. Please subscribe to our newsletter and I somehow missed it, politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. I had to type that out again. Please support us at politicsdoneright.com. Oops, I made a boo-boo. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Why isn't it transferring? Oh, I got to figure that out. politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Where is it? Okay. I'll do that at some other time. I'll fix that at some other time. But anyway, folks, support us however you can. We kindly need your support. I need to get rid of that newsletter one because it seems like it's in error. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. Thank you so kindly for being here with me. I'll be here twice tomorrow, both at KPFT at noon Central and here at 3 Central. Please join us. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out! Welcome to Politics Done Right. I am your host, Egberto Willies. This is a progressive program that will take the mystery out of politics. This is the program that will encourage you to make sure government becomes we the people. Whether you are liberal, progressive, conservative, or otherwise, you get to air your point of view. We are an independent media outlet that, unlike mainstream media beholden to corporations, we only owe allegiance to you. Remember, you can also send me a tweet at EGBERTOWILLIES. That is at Egberto Willies. Let us engage. It is Politics Done Right.